Hello and welcome to Bogatur Gameplay. My name is Vin, and this is my first impressions of the recently released Crytek game Warface. What is Warface? Warface is a first-person shooter, a free-to-play first-person shooter in fact, created by Crytek. Before jumping into the multiplayer, let's just talk about the options for a minute. As you can see, pretty basic option menu. You can see that there's key binding options, which is always nice to see. I've seen games with no key binding options, which is pretty ridiculous for a game made in 2013. You also have your gameplay options, which are basically crosshair selection and HUD customization. What is HUD customization? I have no idea. As of now, it has absolutely no options except draw teammate silhouette, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. You also have your video options, and as you can see, the video options are pretty basic, as are the graphics, which is pretty strange considering it's a CryEngine game. So you have your anti-aliasing, vertical sync, refresh rate, brightness, resolution, and motion blur, which I don't like, so I always turn it off. The quality tab is basically the advanced tab in most games. It's just more options. As you can see, everything here is on high. And if you're wondering why I'm saying this, you'll see. So let's jump into the multiplayer. You have co-op, but since co-op is not really interesting to watch, and because I played the game only a few hours, less even, I don't have all the maps unlocked, as you can see, so it won't be interesting at all. So I'm going to jump straight into the versus. Versus is the multiplayer in this game. So let's join a random room. As you can see, we are now in the multiplayer. The first thing you notice when you join a game, well, pretty much when you open this game and you start playing it, is that the graphics are pretty low end for a CryEngine game. I mean, seriously, this is 2014 now. The game updates quite frequently. And this is a CryEngine game, so it should have pretty nice graphics, but it doesn't have the graphics that will live up to your expectation when you open a CryEngine game. But despite the graphics, which are pretty bad in my opinion for what this game is, let's talk about the gameplay. Well, basically, the gameplay is similar to almost every modern military shooter, with one difference or two differences, maybe less. The thing you can do here is jump on high walls using your teammates. How do you do this? Well, basically, you go to a wall that allows you to do it. Like, say, wait, I cannot find one. Like this one, for example. Oh no, wait, this one I think you can jump on it on your own. Well, when you're next to high walls, you basically ask your teammate to go next to the wall. He presses E, and then you press E2, and you jump on the wall that way, which is pretty nice in my opinion. I think more games should implement this, but other than that, there is nothing innovative per se in this game. As I said, this is the only thing. The graphics are pretty bad for a CryEngine game. I know it's free to play. I mean, it's pretty obvious that a free to play game will look much worse than here's the spot. Will look much worse than a paid game, but still, for a CryEngine game, this is pretty bad. I mean, seriously, if I download the CryEngine, even I could make a better looking game than this. this is just because the CryEngine itself, on its own, allows you to do it. It's a pretty powerful and pretty engine, and I don't see how they managed to make a game that looks old, because this game looks actually old. Another thing in this game is that, well, it's easy. I mean, even if you played very, very little shooters, or very little of this particular shooter, you can still manage to kill a lot of people. I mean, I know that I played Battlefield 3 a lot, and I also played Crisis 2 a lot, and Medal of Honor, but still, it's pretty easy. There's no particular challenge in it, and some people might find this boring, and I personally did find this boring. As you can also see, this game isn't very fast-paced. I mean, of course, in modern military shooters you won't find something hardcore like Quake, which is the fastest-paced game there is, I think, along with Unreal Tournament and games of this sort. But it's not very... there's not a lot of action. It could be boring to some people. I mean, I know for me it was boring. Another thing I have to say is that it's very, very similar to other modern military shooters like Call of Duty or Medal of Honor. Maybe not... I've never played Warfighter, but I know it looks a lot like Medal of Honor 1. And also what I can say is that it looks similar to Call of Duty. It's not that similar to Battlefield 3, but you can find the similarities between that too. One other thing that you may have noticed is that the pump action shotgun, which did not kill me, that was a sniper, the pump action shotgun in this game is very, very overpowered. So basically, if you have a rifle and you're 1v1ing someone, if he has a pump action shotgun, you will not survive. So, what is the point? What is the objective? Well, basically you have points, you have to capture and hold the points, which is pretty basic and dull, considering every military shooter nowadays is exactly like this. There is no innovation whatsoever. I keep insisting on the fact that I know that this is a free-to-play first-person shooter, but they really could have done a better job. I mean, this is Crytek. These are the guys. These are the guys behind Crysis, behind other games like this, and they have, I think, the most or one of the most powerful engines in existence in 2014, and I think they started being the most advanced since Crisis 1, which is now a pretty old game. So yeah, this is basically all I can say about this game. In conclusion, this game is ugly for a Crisis engine game. It is pretty basic, even for the modern military shooter standard in 2014, 2013, and other modern dates. Also, it could be boring for some people, and I think they still update it. I mean, they always update it, but what I mean is it's not completely finished yet. It may be subject to future changes. I can't really say, but what I can say is at the state it is now, it's nothing that I would recommend. I mean, I know it's not paid, so do what you want, but don't waste your time with it. It can be fun. It can be fun, but it's about the level of Battlefield Online, which is a pretty bad game, seriously. Yeah, that's all I can say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos, comment, rate, of course. And let me know in the comments if you would like to see a first impressions of another game or a full review of another game. I would try and do it. So yeah.